The old woman who talks too much. Today's chapter begins on what should have been a quiet morning. But peace rarely lasts long in a house filled with tension. Ranchanlapas opened the front door with a tired sigh. Standing outside was the one person who could ruin her day before it even began. Her mother. "Mom, why didn't you tell me you were coming?" Ranchanlapas asked, frustration clear in her voice. She had said this many times before. If her mother wanted to visit, she should always tell her first. That way, she could avoid the problems that always followed. "In case I'm not home," Ranchanlapas added quickly. But both women understood the real reason behind that rule. Ranchanlapas hated arguments. She hated being stuck between two people who refused to stop hurting each other with words. If she could prevent a fight before it started, she would. And telling her in advance helped her do exactly that. Whenever her mother came to visit, somehow Pheeracha always disappeared. Sometimes she went out. Sometimes she stayed in the bedroom. Sometimes she simply left the house completely. Kingkamon, Ranchanlapas's mother, didn't care how it happened. All she knew was that her daughter always chose her first. She never stopped her mother from visiting. She simply made sure her hot-tempered wife stayed out of sight. And to Kingkamon, that was enough. "It's fine," Kingkamon said happily. She handed her daughter a cloth bag filled with home-cooked food. "If you're not home, I can just leave the food with the maid." She smiled casually. "Don't worry, I don't want to talk to your wife anyway." "Mom," Ranchanlapas said softly. Her mother suddenly noticed how exhausted her daughter looked. Dark circles under her eyes. Tired shoulders. She had clearly been working too hard again. If Ranchanlapas had to stop another argument between her mother and her wife today, she would only become more exhausted. So Kingkamon decided to behave. At least for today. For her daughter's sake. But old habits were hard to break. "Where is she?" Kingkamon asked, glancing around the house. She tried to sound casual, but her eyes were already searching for her rich daughter-in-law. At first, she only wanted to avoid getting scolded by Ranchanlapas. But when she didn't see even a trace of Pheeracha, she couldn't stop herself from complaining. "Is she still sleeping at this hour? I told you not to marry some rich girl who can't even take care of herself." To Kingkamon, her daughter had married the wrong person. Instead of being cared for and supported, her daughter's life had become harder. "Today is a holiday," Ranchanlapas replied calmly. "If you hadn't come, I probably wouldn't be awake yet either." "When does my ranch ever sleep late?" her mother argued immediately. Her daughter always woke up early. Weekdays. Weekends. It didn't matter. She only said that now, to protect the other girl. And that thought made Kingkamon even more annoyed. If Ranchanlapas had married the person her mother had chosen, someone polite, kind, and from the same social class, her life would have been so much easier. "Mom, would you like to eat with me?" Ranchanlapas quickly changed the subject. If she let her mother continue, the criticism would only get worse. And she didn't want to hear more insults about Pheeracha, especially not from her own mother. "I already ate with your father," Kingkamon replied. "Do you want me to heat your food?" "I can do it myself, Mom." No, her mother insisted. "It's your day off, you should rest." She shook her head and added sharply, "If your wife doesn't take care of you, never mind. Your mother will." Ranchanlapas had heard these words many times before. Her mother firmly believed that a wife should take care of everything for her partner. But Ranchanlapas didn't agree. To her, marriage meant something different. Two people living together, supporting each other equally. "Pheeracha works too, Mom," she said gently. It's not her responsibility to do everything alone. But Kingkamon scoffed. "What work? Does she work as hard as you? That spoiled girl can't even do simple things properly." Her words were filled with obvious prejudice. To Kingkamon, Pheeracha was just a lazy rich girl. Someone who dressed beautifully and wandered around the house doing nothing. And to her, that was embarrassing. "Mom." "Oh, please, Ranch," her mother interrupted. "You always defend your wife. If you chose the wrong person, just admit it." Ranchanlapas opened her mouth to stop her. But she didn't get the chance. Because at that exact moment, the person they were talking about appeared. Pheeracha walked slowly down the stairs. Her long hair was messy. She wore no makeup. Only a thin white nightdress that showed more skin than Kingkamon liked. Whatever sleepiness she had seconds earlier vanished the moment she saw her mother-in-law. Her peaceful morning was officially ruined. "Why are you here, Mother?" Pheeracha asked bluntly. Kingkamon's eyebrow twitched. Ranchanlapas closed her eyes and rubbed her temples. The argument had begun. "That's how you greet your elders," Kingkamon snapped coldly. She looked Pheeracha up and down with obvious disgust. "And what are you wearing? Don't you have proper clothes? Or is this how spoiled rich kids dress?" The insult was clear, and Pheeracha saw it. Her irritation instantly burned hotter. "I only asked why you came to disturb our rest," she replied calmly. A small smile appeared on her lips. "And sorry about the outfit. I didn't know you were visiting. When it's just me and Ranch, I don't really need to cover up." "Shameful," Kingkamon shouted. "Disgusting." "Mom," Ranchanlapas warned. But before she could stop anything, Pheeracha spoke again. With a sweet, dangerous smile. "Ranch chose this nightdress for me." She turned to her wife. "Right, my love." Ranchanlapas froze, then slowly nodded. And that single nod made Pheeracha very happy. But it nearly made Kingkamon faint. The argument only grew worse. Sharp words, hidden insults, and laughter that sounded sweeter than it should. Ranchanlapas sat quietly, rubbing her temples, too tired to stop the fight. Until finally, she stood up. "Mom, please heat the food," she said quickly. Then she grabbed Pheeracha's arm and pulled her upstairs. Inside the bedroom, the atmosphere immediately changed. The playful smiles disappeared. "Do you really want me to sit and eat with your mother?" Pheeracha asked bitterly. "Neen," Ranchanlapas sighed. "Don't interfere," Pheeracha snapped. "This house is not yours alone. If you invite someone here, you should tell me first. I'm tired of your mother insulting me in my own home." Ranchanlapas lowered her voice. "I'm sorry she's old. It's difficult to change her now." But those words only made Pheeracha angrier. "So you're correcting me instead of her?" "Of course I'm tired," she burst out. "I'm tired of you. I'm tired of your mother. I'm tired of everything." Then suddenly, her voice broke. Tears rolled down her face. "You're amazing at everything, P. Ranch. Everyone respects you. You're perfect at work. But as a wife," her voice trembled, "you're the worst. I regret marrying you. If I could go back in time, I would never choose you again." Ranchanlapas froze. Her heart felt like it had been stabbed. And for the first time, she realized how deeply her wife had been hurting. "I want a divorce too," Pheeracha said quietly. Then she stepped closer. Only inches between them. But until that happens, her lips curled into a cruel smile. "Let's pretend we still love each other. Just long enough to make your mother suffer." And that was the beginning of a marriage that was already breaking. If love still existed between them, why did their relationship feel so broken? And how long could they continue pretending before everything finally collapsed? If you enjoyed this chapter, don't forget to like and subscribe to Velvet Chapter Stories, because the next chapter may reveal the truth behind their divorce.